Welcome to Study Loop.
Hi, so in this video, we're going to talk about food chains. So a food chain is a type of conceptual model that scientists can use to study ecosystems. Remember that since this is a conceptual model, it has all the inaccuracies that conceptual models have as described in earlier videos, specifically chapter 37, question 4. So what a food chain is a linear sequence of organisms through which energy, which I'm going to just put as an E, and nutrients pass. So what's important about a food chain is that it's linear and meaning that it only goes in one direction, and it shows how energy and nutrients pass through it. Each part of a food chain is what is known as a trophic level. So each part of the food chain, and organisms within that part are part of a trophic level. Now let's go through the different trophic levels in food chain. So at the bottom of the chain, you have the primary producer. Prime producers are what take energy from the sun and turn it into energy available for organisms through photosynthesis, and therefore they are photosynthetic. Example of a primary producer are plants. The primary producers are then eaten by what are known as the primary, meaning the first consumer, because they are the first ones that consume the photosynthetic organisms, and these are also known, therefore, as herbivores. Again, not every primary consumer can be a herbivore. Some primary producers can be algae, and therefore its consumers are not going to be herbivores as they eat algae, not plants. The primary consumers are then eaten by the secondary consumer, which are those that eat, which is just the trophic level that eats the primary consumer. And finally, the last level, and I'm running out of room here, is called the tertiary consumer, right? That goes primary producer, the first producer, the primary consumer, the first eater that eats the producer, then secondary, and then tertiary consumer. The final term that's important to know for food chain is what is the apex consumer. So the apex consumer is what is at the top or end of the food chain. So in this example, the tertiary consumer is the apex consumer. However, if you have a food chain that ends at the secondary consumer, then the secondary consumer is the apex consumer. The final thing that's important to know about food chains is that energy is lost at each level to the environment through heat. So the prime producers are taking some of the energy of the sun and turning it into available energy and nutrients, but some of it is being lost from heat because of the second law of thermodynamics, right? Heat is going off here, heat's going off here. And therefore, the energy available at each level goes down because some of it is being lost. And therefore, the most amount of energy is available at the bottom of a food chain, and the top of the food chain has the least amount of energy compared to the other trophic levels. Thank you.